What is up, guys? I hope you guys had a great week, even though it's been weird. I hope you had a great Friday, and I hope you're having a great evening. Tonight, I'm going to talk about a lot of really cool stuff. We got our first real interview with a firefighter, and there is a ton of information I want to make sure that you are aware of. So let's get to it. As I'm sure you are all very well aware of by now, yesterday, the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, gave us some new guidelines that we have to. The new COVID19 guidelines are simply called the stay-at-home order. And it's really not new. We're just taking what we already know about social distancing and just taking it a little further, being a little more cautious. The governor told us that this is not his first choice, but it's a necessary step that he feels we need to take to make sure we can all be safe and that we can get the coronavirus or COVID-19 under control. The first major change that we see today is that all businesses that aren't life or death are going to have to shut down. We don't want people congregating in places where they don't necessarily need to be. This means that your local GameStop is not going to be open. I hope you have all your video games ready to go because you can't get new ones at this point. This also means that all your grocery stores will remain open, so you don't need to worry about food. Grocery stores are an essential part of our society, and they need to stay open so that you can eat. This also means that fast food will stay open as well. But you might notice at places like Costco or In-N-Out, they have all other places to sit marked off so you can't sit there. This is to prevent people from congregating. Other places that are considered essential to society are places like hardware stores, banks, pharmacies, and other places like that where we need them in order to keep society running. If you happen to go to one of these essential businesses like a fast food restaurant or a grocery store, it's very, very important that you still practice social distancing. The new regulation is that you don't want to be within 6 feet of another person. That's roughly a sneeze range or a cough range. So you don't want to be anywhere near somebody where they could cough on you. Now let's get to tonight's interview. What's up, everybody? This is one of my good friends, Matt, and he is a Los Angeles County firefighter. And you know what? I'm feeling really underdressed right now, so I'm gonna fix that. Hold on one second. Much better. But you know what? This thing, it's actually pretty heavy. How do you guys wear this all day?
We don't wear it all day.
Oh, you mean you have to wear it for a long period of time, though. And I bet it gets really irritating, doesn't it?
It does bug sometimes when you have to wear it for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it off and go back to my normal attire. Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, cool. Matt, where do you work?
I work for LA County Fire Department, Fire Station 35 in Cerritos.
Nice. How long have you been doing that?
With LA County, I've been there for about 12 years. I worked for La Habra Heights Fire Department as a volunteer for 5 years, and at various ambulance companies, including the city of Long Beach, probably 3 or 4 years before that.
Just for everybody else to know, me and Matt actually took fire science classes together about 20 years ago. And
That's true.
that's just one of the places we've known each other from. Have you always wanted to be a firefighter?
No, actually. I didn't realize I wanted to be a firefighter until I was probably 21 or 22 years old, which most guys that get into the fire service, they know early on. Usually it's a family member that's a firefighter, and then that inspires them. Most guys get started, when they're really young, like 13, 14, in Explorer programs, and then, they're way ahead of the game when they get out of high school. Well, for me, it was years later. So even though 22 sounds young, it was still it's a late start for somebody trying to get into the fire department.
So what you're telling me is, if you're in 7th or 8th grade and you don't know what you want to be, it's not too late.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's cool. What is the best part of your job?
The best part of my job, the reason that I started pursuing a career in the fire service was the camaraderie between the guys. I had the opportunity of working in an ambulance company and was around firefighters and just saw how they were very much like a family, but not just a family, they were also like friends. They go on trips together, they do a lot of things off duty together, and that was the thing that caught my attention about the fire service, was just the tight-knit camaraderie that they have.
What is the hardest part of your job?
It's kind of funny because it's also the people you work with, because you are when you work in the fire department, most fire departments work 24-hour shifts. So for me, I work a lot of overtime. I spend about half of my life at a fire station, so they're like my second family. But some personalities don't mix well, so sometimes it's hard to find that right crew, that right group of guys or girls that you bond really well with. And so a lot of times the people that you work with can also be the hardest thing about the job, if you kind of understand what I'm talking about.
Kind of like being at school all day when you don't have the choice of who you hang out with, but you still have hang out with them and be nice.
Exactly. I would say that's probably one of the most difficult things.
What advice can you give to youngsters about the coronavirus or COVID-19?
I can tell you from the fire department standpoint, for us, when we're on duty, is to not go into crowds. All drills, all activities where we are together, were canceled right away. It's basically, hey, what we're doing is we're going to limit the amount of contact to people. And then, and that was even in the station level. They wanted us in the stations to keep our 6 feet of distance, if you can believe that. That's what LA County Fire did to start. For me, I can kind of tell you the situation I'm going through right now. Tuesday morning, I got a phone call from my mom that my dad was sick. And I was actually supposed to work that day. I ended up taking the day off. He wasn't COVID-19 kind of sick. He didn't have those symptoms. He has some other symptoms, and he was starting to deteriorate fast. So what I did was I was able to get in contact with my chief, and this is not normal operation for our department, but he was able to approve me vacation time right now, because I knew right away that with my dad being sick and with me being at work, I was possibly going to be exposed to it, and I knew if I had to take care of him, that the likelihood of me transferring that disease to him was really high. So I actually took vacation time and stayed home. I've been home for about 4 days now. And I don't see anybody but my dad and my mom. I don't go out and do any shopping. My wife does all of that, because I know that if I come in contact with it and I give it to him, because he's old and he has underlying medical conditions, that it will most likely kill him. So what I've been doing for me is just staying put. I don't go out and have any contact with people, because this is a tricky disease. You can have it and not show signs and symptoms for 4 to 7 days, but you're contagious. So while you've been out around people, you've been infecting them, and they don't know that they have it or have been in contact with it till they start showing signs and symptoms 4 to 7 days later. So all the people that they've come in contact with, now they've been exposed to it as well. So it's a kind of a weird disease, because it kind of hides in you for a little bit before you know you have it. So my suggestion is just to stay home, stay away from people, and just kind of ride this thing out as long as you can.
That's good. So basically, if I was going to summarize that, it would be stay home.
Stay home.
You don't need to go outside with other people.
Yep.
You just need to be at your home, maybe go in the backyard, get some sunshine, but you don't need to go out in crowds, because that's when you're most likely to catch a bug that's going to infect you or your family. Maybe your grandma and grandpa could get it from you.
And how old are your students?
About 12.
Like 7th, 8th grade?
Yeah, 12, 13 years old.
Okay. So typically, they're not at a high risk for anything happening if they get the disease. They're young, they're healthy. Chances are, if they get it, they're going to just get like flu-like, cold-like symptoms for a few days, and nothing serious is going to happen. But that's not the problem. The problem is that they're going to bring it home to their parents, possibly their grandparents, and those are the people that are at risk for like serious illness and death from this disease are the elderly and people with medical conditions. So I know it's hard because you're like, well, if I get it, it's no big deal. It's just like getting sick. Yes, but you bring it home, you get those people that are at risk, you get them exposed to it, and they may not make it through. So we all need to do our part to keep this disease from spreading.
So that was our first interview, and I am so thankful for Firefighter Matt for sharing a little bit of his time and speaking to us about his job and his advice regarding COVID-19. I have a lot more footage from Matt sharing with me more information, but I had to cut it down due to time. If you want to know more from Matt, let me know. Shoot me an email, and I'd be more than happy to share more information with you. I have other interviews scheduled coming up, and I look forward to sharing those with you as well. I'm going to sign off for now, but remember, respect yourself, respect others, and do everything that you need to do to keep yourself safe and healthy. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Is there trouble between you and I? Did my heart break?